Yes, we updated the ICI regarding the target date on November 15. Just to be clear, yung talagang medyo umuusad na would be the 7. Again, they submitted a voluntary forfeiture. I'm referring to the Discayas, meaning to say that they'll no longer contest yung 7 vehicles. No? Ito yung no import entry, tsaka no certificate of payment. As to the 6, they submitted a position paper, and part of that position paper, they are offering parang a compromise penalty. No? That's being considered by the legal division already. Probably the decision will come out in 3 to 5 days.
Compromise penalty meaning they will just pay what is due and then they can keep the 6?
There is a surcharge to be imposed plus 20% fine from the landed cost. I don't want to get into the potential effect, but what I can mention is that we are also in receipt of a notice of distraint and levy from the BIR. So that covers personal properties. I'm sure you can make that conclusion. What will happen, assuming we decide favorably to release the cars. So I'm sure you can make that connection.
The 7, I'm not sure if you can give us a rundown of what kind of vehicles these are and the amount.
Sorry. I'll try to look for the list, but I can entertain more questions.
Magkano yun, sir?
The total amount for the 13 would be 200 million conservatively.
Pero sir, yung 7, yung voluntary na nila.
I don't have a separate amount for the 7. I'll balikan ko kayo for that.
Sir, who can participate in the pagsubasta?
Of course, the more participants, the more you can generate revenue, no? Because the offers will be, there will be several offers, no? Siguro by way of elimination na lang, meron tayong CAO 3-2020 that controls who cannot participate. So employees of the BOC are disqualified from participating. The importer, broker, consignee, and owner of the smuggled item is also disqualified from participating. So by way of exception na lang siguro natin. But the rule is, of course, the more who would participate, the better revenue we can generate.
Baka mamaya, sir, sila Discaya would have kamag-anak and would bid for that. How do we make sure that doesn't happen?
Before you are allowed to participate, there is a registration process for the bidders, no? So we can check that. Pangalawa, I'm not sure that they would be actively participating. No? I think very clear naman ang sentiments ng public, so I'm not sure it would be wise for them to participate in the auction.
Sir, how about yung mga POC personnel na sa mga pinag-show cause order nyo rin with regards nga dito sa pagpasok ng mga sasakyan ng mga Discaya? May any update ba tayo doon? Ano po ang nilalabanan ng show cause order na reply nila sa inyo?
Okay, we issued, I think, more than 15 show cause orders, no? From appraisers, examiners to, I think, the deputy collector for assessment. And I'm also made aware that they already submitted their explanations. It varies, no? Yung defenses nila vary from having forged signatures, yung iba doon, their names just electronically appear without the corresponding wet signature, no? So that's being evaluated right now by the legal division. Baka in the next week or two, they'd come out with a resolution or the decision as to whatever liability or accountability our personnel would have.
So i-expect na may matatanggal po kasi dahil doon sa pagpasok ng mga sasakyan ng mga Discaya sa bansa?
Well, I don't want to preempt the decision, no? But again, depending on the participation doon sa unlawful importation, the penalty for that would be from reprimand to suspension to removal from office.
How about, sir, yung luxury cars ni Bryce na nandito ngayon sa ICI? Any action po ng Bureau of Customs doon? Since ang last ata na nabanggit ni Sir Tomoseno, may mga documents naman po ito para tinitignan nyo pa po kung ano pwede gawin dito. Any update po sa...
Correct. So we checked it, no? Meron naman siyang import entry tsaka certificate of payment. I believe it's being subjected to post-clearance audit, no? In post-clearance audit, what's being checked is the propriety of the taxes paid, kung tama ba yung classification. And again, if there would be discrepancies or deficiencies, the BOC would have remedies available for that.
Sir, is that just legally acquired? I mean, in terms of importing it legally acquired siya?
Yes, in terms of documentation, tama naman yung documentation. what we're looking at would be the propriety of the taxes paid. Kasi kung may deficiency, again, we can still run after that, no? Thank you for that question, but to be clear, the BOC is not really mandated to run after ill-gotten wealth, no? We are limited, our jurisdiction is limited to the propriety of the importation, the payment of customs duties and taxes, the ability of the personality to pay for it, kung ill-gotten wealth siya, baka poder na po ng BIR ito.
May mga nagpasabi naman interested to buy dun sa auction ng mga Vizcayas.
Yes, the BOC has received several inquiries about the vehicles, the condition. We will come out with more announcements for that. But marami nang nagpahayag ng interest sa pag-participate sa ating auction.
For these vehicles.
I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to disclose at this moment. But to be transparent, again, the direction of the commissioner is to make everything transparent, no? So the intention is for the auction to be live streamed also para fully transparent ang process.
Doon hindi natin makita, sir, kasi na nagbibid na. May pwede naman siyang parang auction sa art house na pwedeng tawag-tawag lang.
Well, that will be it will be covered by siguro yung ating magiging implementing rules. But again, the purpose is to generate as much revenue as we can. So kung mag-open tayo for ganyan, yung via phone call, may representative, that will be covered by our implementing rules for that.
So in other words, yung kila Bryce, mapapasubasta ba yun ever or paano magiging status na?
That will depend. If as far as the BOC is concerned, we're looking at that 30% threshold, no? Kasi if there is a difference of 30% from the customs duties paid, actually paid as to what should have been paid, there is that ability of the BOC to cause the automatic seizure of that item. So kung dun siya papasok, BOC can take cognizance of that. If not, nandyan pa rin. Again, as I mentioned, we are in receipt of a notice of distraint and levy from the BIR. So BIR can also run after those motor vehicles.
Sir, question lang. Of course, the Vizcayas, they have lots of luxury cars. But nakakuha ba kayo ng any reactions for them or like any legal actions from them to take what they purchased or their property? Like, of course, it's theirs.
Yes, like what I said, they submitted for the 7 that do not have certificates of payment and import entry. They submitted a voluntary forfeiture. No, that means they are waiving their entitlement to the motor vehicles, but they are reserving their right to go after the importers, no, the car dealerships. For the 6 naman, they submitted a position paper. They are offering a parang compromise settlement, no, for the surcharges, for the fines. I do not want to preempt what will be the decision of the legal division, but that has been submitted. I think the legal division has 5 days to comment, and then it will be submitted for resolution already by the port. As to the remaining 17, it underwent PCAG, no, yung post-clearance audit from the BOC. I think that will be done by next week, kung tama yung binayarang taxes. But as I've mentioned, we are also in receipt of a notice of distraint and levy from the BIR, and the BIR is telling us to hold personal properties and other properties of the Vizcaya. So at the moment, it's still sealed by the BOC, but if hindi siya pumasok sa PCAG jurisdiction namin, it will probably be turned over to the BIR.
So officially, sir, they have 30 luxury vehicles?
No. Well, yung 30 na ito, all of these are the ones that went importation process. Okay? So ito yung naselyohan natin dun sa St. Gerard, if you recall, no? Doon sa 30 na to, 7 were found to have no import entries, no certificates of payment, kaya talagang automatic yung seizure natin. Etong 13 na to, ito naman yung nasa POM na, no? Yung hinila natin from the garage. It's currently at the POM. And if I can also mention, no, we strongly condemn yung fake news, no, na nagagamit yung Rolls-Royce. Clearly, you can see the difference as to the plate numbers. If you want to go and visit the BOC right now sa POM, the Rolls-Royce is there. You can check it. No? Talagang fake news po yung nag-viral na post.
So 7 and 13, ang mga hawak niya na vehicles?
13. 7 plus 6.
30.
Yes.
Standby purposes. Anong assurance na kapag binili ni inabso rin ng diskaya, walang magiging problema.
Well, if si Sir Joseph ang bibili, no, we can guarantee Sir Joseph that
So,
after
hindi mo gamit sa sound like that. We move my Pag binili ng isang tao, yan.
Okay, if you purchase a motor vehicle that is subjected to the auction process of the BOC, the continuation of that process is after you have fully paid for the vehicles will be the registration with the LTO. That has also been agreed upon because we had a MOA signing with the LTO just last week, no? And that is part of the process that we are improving so that the winning bidders naman would have that assurance that they will not be harassed by the HPG, by the LTO. It will undergo a full registration process.
Sir, kailan daw po magpaparegister si Johnson para magbibig na daw siya?
We'll come out with the rules for the auction, no? Para you can, meron pa kasi siyang parang registration fee.
May vetting pa ba yan? Tinitingnan niyo pa yung background nila?
Not that talagang parang KYC, not to the extent na parang KYC, no? But we take cognizance of who they are. And then, of course, we do basic checks. We want to make sure that they would not fall under those who are disqualified from participating.
Sir, last 7, yung 7 na ipo-auction, let's have you promote that bidding. You have the list of the number of vehicles na kind of vehicles? If you can.
Siyempre, ngayon pa tayo naglobat.
Sir, may power bank ka na.
I don't recall all 7, no, but definitely the Rolls Royce is there, the Cullinan is there. Rolls Royce Cullinan, the Bentley Bentayga is there also, no. Kung di ako nagkakamali, may Tundra doon. But the most expensive one is the Rolls Royce. Sorry? Yes, yun yung may payo. Yes, ando pa yung payo.
Kasama yung payo, sir.
Of course.
Sa yung auction.
Marami nang nagpapa-reserve ng payong, but accessory follows the principal, so nandun din yung payong kasama siya.
Sir, kailan yung target date ng auction natin?
The commissioner is targeting November 15. But we were told earlier that we will be coordinating with PCO as well. Of course, no, we understand the relevance of this. It's not a simple auction, no. We understand that this can be symbolic, at least on the part of parang healing, no, or restitution. It can be part of at least the Filipino people recovering what was, well, yung ill-gotten wealth.
Sir, for the record again, mga magkano yung makukuha ng government dito sa auction na mga estimate?
For the 13, we have that 200 million peso value, no. Hindi ko lang ma-segregate yung 7, which is medyo sure na. But for the 13, the total figure is conservatively 200 million pesos.
Pero may nabanggit si Commissioner dati, di ba, na yung other luxury vehicles of the Vizcaya ay nabili through a legitimate car dealership company, di ba?
Correct.
So, ibig sabihin, lahat po namin ay absuelto na doon sa investigation ng
No, the 17, yung binabanggit ni Commissioner, are still being subjected to post-clearance audit, no? We are determining if tama yung nabayarang duties and taxes. But as I said, even if assuming that we clear them dun sa kanilang post-clearance audit, no, kung cleared man sila, the BOC has already received the notice of restraint and levy from the BIR. So we are also compelled to withhold yung custody ng vehicles na ito and then eventually turn it over to the BIR for their processes naman.
Attorney, pag nabenta, saan ma-reverse yung pera? So mag-identify ba ng projects yung BOC or diretso treasury?
No, for auction process, if I can remember correctly, merong forfeiture fund, no? It's still part of the BOC, but eventually it will be reverted to the National Treasury. Okay. Thank you very much.